Just before we start wrapping up, I want to discuss Bukayo Saka because after what's felt like an age, he's getting closer to returning and for a very important part of the season as well. I feel a bit like Michael Scott in The Office running around telling everybody to stay calm, even though in my mind he's coming back to save our season. And just, my life generally, because life is better with Bukayo Saka in it. Tim, we've got two quite tricky games actually before playing Real Madrid on April the 8th, Fulham at home and then Everton away. Do you expect him to feature in either of those? Could he even start either of those? And what minute will he be scoring the first against Real Madrid?
First minute, because he'll start. I suspect we will see him in the squad, maybe for Ipswich. I've just no information. Obviously, I've just got a little feeling that maybe he could have made that Chelsea squad, but maybe there was a bit of back off Mr. Tuchel type stuff going on. A bit of like, no, you're not going anywhere for the international break. We'll get through this game without you type thing. So, and it's been so quiet actually, and I kind of think that that's got to have been deliberate because
For sure.
usually, there'd be he's back on the grass, and you'd get like an access all areas of him putting his boots on, and
I think Arteta's going through every image on Getty and just saying, no.
hang on.
Yeah.
I think if you zoom in, there's a shin pad on the floor with B on it. Can we get rid of that, please, Mr. Price? So, I think that's got to have been a bit deliberate because in the ordinary run of things, I'm sure the content team want to do a documentary on like the first time he straightened his leg type thing. But I really, really think, and maybe that suspicion is informed as well by Arteta, not a guy given to joking very much, particularly with the media, but that very I never realised how much he looked like Charlie Chaplin actually until he did that whole when he was asked by the interviewer about Saka and he pretends to run off and then comes back with very like Chaplin like timing. That to me kind of says he's going to be back, and I'm sure that they've had like a pin in the calendar on the Real Madrid game, and I definitely don't think he'll start against Fulham. Maybe sneaks into the squad. I do think against Everton, maybe we'll see him in that squad, and I think the way they'd probably like to do it is to be able to start him in both legs against Real Madrid and maybe sit him on the bench for the Brentford game in between, particularly if we can get some good results against Fulham and Everton. If we take like 4 points from those two, I think we can park him on the bench for Brentford, save him for those two Real Madrid games. I'm certain that that's been the big old red ring on the calendar. So I am expecting to see him in the squad, if not for Fulham, definitely for Everton. All of this is gut feel. Obviously, I would be astounded if he wasn't involved in the first Real Madrid game, and I'm pretty certain that they'll want him to start that. And Nwaneri now, I think we probably got to a situation where it's like, okay, Nwaneri can play the last like 20 minutes of a home tie against Real Madrid if we need him to. I think we can trust him for that, and he's probably been a bit overexposed physically this season, but the advantage is we definitely know there's no problems about him playing some part in that game. So I think they can game share. I think that's what will happen.
Clive, on a wider level, what does Saka being back offer this team, both on a tactical and mental level? Because I think Tim alluded to it before. Liverpool are obviously a very good team, but their points tally has just been propelled by Mohamed Salah having a superhuman season. And Bukayo Saka is our Mohamed Salah. So should we be weary about what to expect from him coming back from a hamstring injury, which involved surgery as well? It was a really bad one. Or should we be using his return as a boost, as something mentally we can say, look, he's back now, we're back, let's go and attack teams again?
I think we should be using his injury as a message to us, really, on our over-reliance on him. I mean, I used to sit on here and I used to say the words, he's the first one over the top in every single game I watch. Every single time the crowd get excited, it was him. And I was saying it, just enjoying it, as if he was going to be there forever, right? And so you get that feeling, with players when they're doing so well, they're usually, we're just going to keep going. And then they stop. And I'd be so interested to see what lessons we've learned about our reliance on going to that right hand side in particular to him, and he just fixes everything. I'd be really interested to see how we evolve our attack next year and what lessons we learn from that, particularly using our left winger slightly differently. And I think it's been a real shock to us all, really. And the numbers were there for us all to see, but we still ignored it, right? And so, yeah, as a person, as a player, he is the franchise, isn't he? He is it. That is it. And we're just like we've been talking about lucky to have these 3 young players coming through, and there's others in the background that we all know. We are incredibly fortunate because they represent us all really, really well. And yeah, I can't wait to see him back, really, because everything we do as a team is we build, and then we go to wide areas. You know, we get criticised for not attacking down the centre of the pitch. Personally, I don't mind going into wide areas. It's what you do then. If you come off the sides, you attract people to you, go into those central zones from the sides, and we can do things then when at pace, when we arrive on the hoof, on the gallop, and then we go past people, third man runs in behind cutbacks. We just need to do it on both sides more consistently. And so as soon as we can do that, then the way we play will be perfect. So for me, really investing in how we play and really, really investing it and say, yeah, this is what we do. But we're going to make sure we've got more than one person who can do it really, really well. You know, particularly once the ball's in the last third. And that's Arsenal's development, really. So Bukayo Saka has taught us all something that we need to get better at the overall attacking picture, particularly in the last third, and not be so reliant on somebody. I know he's special, but you just can't get there. Single points of failure are never good for you in anything you're doing, any organisation you're in. You've got to reinsure yourself. And so, yeah, I can't wait to see him back. And if there are rumours he's back for Fulham, which I think he will be, by the way, Tim. That's my gut feel.
Exclusive.
I'll tell you why. I'll give you a little scoop, right? And some people have already seen it. There was one picture that didn't get vetted. It was from Zinchenko in training a little while ago, and Bukayo Saka's leg was in the background, and so he's definitely been on the grass. He's definitely been around the players, and that was about 3-4 weeks ago. So I'm fully expecting him to be playing against Fulham or be in the squad. That's going to boost ticket sales, be in the squad, and I can't wait to be there.
That's Zinchenko dropped now for the rest of the season. You've seen why he's not playing any minutes now, because he's too busy leaking images. Yeah, Fulham is an interesting one because it feels far away, but it's also the next game we have. So I think after a few weeks in training, and another few days under his belt, another days taking shots at whoever's in goal at training, Tommy Setford or whoever. Oh, I think of that Real Madrid game at home. I'm rubbing my hands together because the scene is set. And if you can think of anyone kind of stepping up and making a difference, it's him. So I just think it will be so poetic to have him back.
Can I just caveat that excitement a little bit? We're just watching Ben White get back to fitness, aren't we?
I know. You can hear him moving.
And he is like the supreme athlete, absolutely incredible. And he's finding it a challenge after 4 or 5 months, however it's been. So even though in my mind I've got him sticking it top corner at the Burnabout, it may not be so smooth.
So yeah, that's kind of it for now. Obviously, again, there'll be some stuff closer to Fulham. Maybe this is too early. We're still a week or so away. But just rounding up on some of our other players quickly. Gabriel flew back to London early after getting booked for Brazil in the 2-1 win over Colombia, with Vinicius Jr. scoring a 99th minute winner in that one. So that's good. He didn't have to stick around, and he's come back early to hopefully be ready for Fulham. Jurrien Timber was called up by the Netherlands, but didn't play either game due to illness. Although I think it was being reported in the Evening Standard that he'll be fine for the Fulham game as well. And maybe him getting a rest isn't the worst thing. So by all means, play Jeremy Frimpong. We'll be fine with Timber getting a bit of a rest. Saliba as well, played twice for France against Croatia. Had a bit of a stinker in the first game alongside Konate. They lost 2-0, but he was better alongside Upamecano in last night's 2-0 win, and then they eventually went on to win on penalties. Ethan Ranieri made his England under-21 debut in the 5-3 defeat against France. He could play tonight as well, as we record on Monday. A certain Hugo Ekitike scored a hat-trick in that one. Ryan Shirky ran the show as well. I mean, there was just so much talent on that pitch. Any of you guys want to add anything else before we kind of look to wrap up here?
Yeah, on Etitique, I shouldn't. Why did I even go there?
It's difficult. There's too many T's and K's in that name. Yeah.
On Hugo, right? I think he's one to have a look at, isn't he? He's quite a bendy forward. He's very light. You know, in my mind, he is the sort of player that we should be looking at. I think that number's getting a bit high, Phil. It's around the 80. I'm not sure if he's quite that, but the numbers are getting high. But it's the sort of player that I would instantly go, yeah, that's us, immediately. But then I think back to who we are now and where we play, and we need some penalty area dominance. And my eyes still go towards Sesko, to be honest. But that's just me doing my squad building, as I do when I'm walking the dogs. and I wonder what we're going to do. But it's going to be interesting, isn't it? See, we end up with, because even the rumours of Gyökeres also been touted around a little bit, and I have seen him live, and he's an impressive player. All right, again, it's about the numbers, so I can't wait to see what we land on.
Yeah, it's the kind of the same old names featuring, isn't it? Ekitike is coming into the fore a bit now because Marmoush was hogging the limelight, so that kind of gives him a chance to come forward. Šeško's always been there. We've done the work on him. Gyökeres as well. I think we've done the work on him. He was being linked to Forest as well at some point this week. So
that's a smart move, that Forest game.
Look, if they want to go big, they wanted to go big on Cunha in January, so maybe they've got money ready to burn.
The way they play on the counter-attack. He is perfect, isn't he, for them? Very concerned.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Very concerning.
There was a couple of, few other bits. Trossard was playing for Belgium, but nothing hugely interesting. Obviously, England play again tonight. We could see Miles again tonight. Tim, would you prefer him to be on the bench for this one? Just avoid any risk of injury, someone clattering into him from a Latvia perspective?
Probably yes, particularly in light of the Calafiori thing. But at the same time, I'm kind of rooting for him to go and play there again and almost, I say, make that position his. Like, England aren't blessed with left backs at the moment, which is why he's got his chance at the moment. Few injuries around as well. So I kind of, the avuncular side of me wants him to play and go and score again and really be talked about as England's new left back. But I think the Arsenal fan in me is probably thinking maybe 20 minutes at the end so he gets his second cap and stays nice and sharp. But we got some games coming up, and we're only down to, I think, 4 left backs now, and it's getting a bit scary. So definitely a little bit of cotton wool there for me.
I think that's basically everything we could have covered today. I mean, news has been light. Obviously, the players have been playing, but from an Arsenal perspective, there hasn't been a huge amount of news. As I said before, I know we've still got some time between now and the Fulham game, but I'm pretty sure there'll be some content lined up between now and then. I'm hearing rumours of an Ekitike and Nippon scouting video, maybe even an unmarked episode as well, some stats guy and a civilian. So there'll be plenty for you guys to get into on the Patreon side. And of course, there'll be some information about the upcoming annual April fundraiser, which always blows me away. I mean, the community coming together, the amount of generosity people show is always incredible. So keep your eyes and your ears out and open and ready to listen. Other than that, all I can say is, Clive, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you very much.
Tim, lovely to catch up as always.
My pleasure as always.
And my name is Phil Costa, and thanks for putting up with me for this episode. I know people get onto Elliot sometimes, but hosting is hard. So hopefully this change of pace hasn't been too distracting. And I'm sure we'll talk to you before Arsenal 10, Fulham 0.